Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. Pretty Pink Posh has a brand new release filled with stamps, dies, stencils, and new shaker mixes. And if you're interested in any of the products, I do have links in the description box below. So I'll start off with the shaker mixes. There are 4 new ones. On the left we have Enchanted Garden Mix. Then there are 3 shaker bead sets. Serene, Enchanted, and my favorite, Chocolate. There are 2 different brown colors along with some white beads. I'm not even sure what I'll do with it yet, but I really like the look of the chocolate mix. Now moving on to the stamp sets. The first one is Upright Greetings Occasions. There are lots of individual words that you combine together and then plenty of sentiments. It includes sentiments for graduation, wedding, baby, Mother's Day, Father's Day, and several others. The next stamp set is called Simple Thanks. There are a couple of flowers, a few foliage pieces, and also the sentiments thanks and thank you. And there is a coordinating die set. It includes dies that go around all of the images and sentiments. The next stamp set is so cute. This one's called Hummingbird Floral. There are 2 hummingbird images, some florals, foliage, and several sentiments. Hello friend, thinking of you. Then it has the large word note and 2 little sentiments to combine, just a note and a little note. There are coordinating dies, and one of the dies goes around that large note word. The next stamp set is called Tea Time. Lots of great images. It has the large sentiment Special Day, plus a few smaller sentiments. And there is a coordinating die set, dies that work with the images and also the large sentiment Special Day. The final stamp set is mostly sentiments, but there are a few small flowers, leaves, and a little leafy branch. There is a coordinating die set, and there's a die that fits around every single sentiment and image on this set. I'm a big fan of sentiment sets, and I love the beautiful fonts that Pretty Pink Posh always uses. Now moving on to the die sets, I'll start off with 2 of the shaker die sets. We have Vase and also Teacup. Pretty Pink Posh always has great shaker die sets. You can use them to create shakers or use the dies for non-shakers. Both of these new images are so fun. I love the little tea bag that's included on the teacup shaker. There's a new nested shape set. This one's called Notched Squares. It includes 6 different sizes, and all of the shapes have that faux stitch detail. You can never have too many shape die sets. Then we have a new cover plate die. This one is Scallops Pierced Plate. So it'll create this fun scallop texture on the background of your card, and you could flip it over and make it waves. Perfect with summertime right around the corner. And this die will cut out an A2 size panel. I love having this style die, adds beautiful texture and detail to your background. Next up is a die set called Shadow Box. So it includes the pieces to create a little shadow box, also has a scallop rectangle die, a stitched rectangle die, and 3 different borders. A wavy border, sort of a scallop, a cloud looking border, and another one that would look cute as grass. With it being springtime, perfect to have the new Spring Floral die set. This set includes several different flowers and also a couple of stems and leaves. The set includes a daffodil, and that was one of my mom's favorite flowers. So I will be using this on a card after I show the rest of the release. Another fun die set is Stitched Hummingbirds. Pretty Pink Posh has several different stitched bird die sets, and here's the newest one, a hummingbird. It includes 2 hummingbirds, one facing right, one facing left, and all the individual pieces to customize your adorable hummingbird. And the final die set, it's a large set. This one's called Floral Wreath Builder. It includes all the pieces you need to create a beautiful floral wreath. There's the one circle, so you could start off with that as the frame. Or it has the large circle with the different leaves, and then several different flowers, foliage, and leaf pieces, plus a lovely bow to finish off your wreath. Now moving on to the stencil sets, and there are 3 new designs. The first set is called Layered Teacups, and there are 2 stencil layers in this set, one with the teacups and the other with the decorations for the teacups. Then we have Layered Blooming Vines. This one also has 2 stencils. And then finally, Layered Daffodils, and this set includes 3 stencil layers. So that's everything that's included in Pretty Pink Posh's brand new May 2025 release. And I do have a card to share with you. Here's a look at the main products I'll be using for the card. I have the Vase shaker, the spring floral die set, then I'm bringing in a couple of older die sets, spring mug additions, bows, and then for a sentiment, I'm using the new Friend Greetings with coordinating dies. I will be using pattern paper for the background. I have Newton's Nook Designs Spring Blooms collection. I'm almost out, but I have enough that I can still do a background or 2. And I have all of this scrap stored in a 6x6 Scrapmaster, and I will link that in the description box. For the background of my card, selected the Tone on Tone purple floral paper. I'm adding a 1.5 inch teal piece at the bottom. Then I'll layer this on some purple mirror cardstock. And that cardstock layer is an additional 1/8 of an inch. So 4 1/8 of an inch by 5 3/8 of an inch. Now I'll put ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. And when I attached my card front onto the card base, I didn't get it evenly spaced. And unfortunately, when I tried to readjust it, I ripped my card base. So I'll grab another card base, add a little more adhesive, and this time I get it nice and evenly spaced. I've already gone ahead and die cut out all of the pieces, and I'll start by making the vase shaker. I use white shimmer cardstock for the frame of the vase and also the background, and I've already attached the acetate. I use clear double-sided adhesive tape and also glue to hold the acetate in place. Next, I'll add some foam dimension, and I'm using scrapbook.com's 1/8 inch foam in the 2mm thickness. I remove the release paper on the strip. That way I can easily work it around the curves of the vase. And for now, I'm not adding any foam at the opening of the vase. So next I'll assemble 2 daffodils. I used 2 different shades of yellow cardstock for the flower, and for that very center, I used an orangish yellow cardstock color. I will pop up that center piece with some foam dimension. I grabbed scrapbook.com's large foam squares in the 1mm thickness. It was a little too large to fit behind this piece, so I did trim off just a tiny sliver. I'll remove the release paper, attach this center piece, and then for the very center of the flower, I'll put glue on the back and adhere it in place. The spring floral die set also includes a side view option of the daffodil. I'm not even sure if these 3 pieces together are supposed to be a daffodil, but it looked like it, so I went with it. The spring florals die set does include stems and leaves, but I decided to use this piece from the spring mug addition set. The stem piece has the 2 leaves attached. I'm trimming them off with a pair of scissors, and then I cut out the individual leaves. That way I can place them where I want on the stems. Now the stems don't quite reach the bottom of the vase, but that's okay. I will be covering up some of that center area. I'll put glue on the back, add both of the stems, one facing more right and the other leaning left. Then just real quick, I'll lay that shaker frame on top. I'll be adding 2 of the leaves inside the vase, and I wanted to make sure the frame of the vase didn't cover them up. I'll also be adding more leaves at the top, but I'll wait until the vase is attached to the card. I thought about attaching one of the leaves that I cut from the stem, but I really prefer the individual leaves. I think it gives it a cleaner look. So now that I've added the stems and leaves inside the vase, I do need to seal up the very top with another piece of foam. And you want to make sure your foam is touching completely, otherwise some of the shaker beads may escape. The bead mix I selected is the new Serene. The colors are beautiful, and I did select pattern paper and cardstock colors that coordinate with the bead colors. I will be adding a purple mirror scallop border at the bottom of the vase. And since that will cover up an area of the shaker, I'm adding another foam strip. And that way I don't have to add quite as many beads since that area will be completely covered up. I put in enough beads to fill the vase about 1/4 of the way. And now I'll seal those in place with the back piece of the vase, trying to make sure to line it up perfectly with that front frame. Now right now it looks a little odd, especially since you can see that foam strip at the very bottom. But I'll get to that in a moment. Next, I'll put barely art glue on the back, attach my vase on the front of the card, and I'm putting it fairly low. I want to leave enough space to add the 2 daffodils at the top. And while I wait for that glue to dry, I will place a large acrylic block on top for some added weight. Next, I'll attach the scallop base portion of the vase. Since this is a specialty cardstock and I'm adhering it to acetate and pearlescent cardstock, I'm using 2 different adhesives. I put some clear double-sided adhesive tape on the back and also some barely art glue. Then I'll place a large acrylic block on top and let that sit for a few minutes. I noticed a little bit of glue on that scallop base piece, but since I used mirror cardstock, it wiped away quickly. Now I'll add the 2 daffodils, and I am popping them up using more foam dimension. I'll be using the large and small foam squares from scrapbook.com in the 1mm thickness. Want to make sure to get good coverage. Don't want any of those petals to sag down. I'll remove the release paper. One daffodil will be a little bit higher than the other. So the one on the left will be slightly higher than the one on the right. And I will be adding 3 more leaves, trying to figure out placement before I completely attach the flowers. For the leaves, I'll glue them down using barely art glue. The flower on the left, I'll add 2 leaves. And then the flower on the right, I'll put 1 leaf on the right side of the stem. So after gluing down the final leaf, I'll attach the daffodil right on top. And when using glue, you do have a little bit of time to get everything adjusted, and I felt like that leaf was a little too high at first. So there's the vase filled with flowers, or 2 flowers. I will be adding a bow at the top of the vase. I selected some dark blue cardstock that matches the blue beads in the shaker mix. There are 3 pieces for this bow. Just glue them all together. Add more glue on the back of the bow and adhere it at the top of the vase. Then I'll place the acrylic block on top, let it sit for a few minutes to let that glue dry. For a sentiment, I've already stamped and cut this out. Hello friend. And I did put foam dimension on the back. I'll remove the release paper and add the sentiment in the center of the vase, covering up that very bottom area of the stems. So now you can't tell unless you shake this around that those stems don't go to the bottom of the vase. For embellishments, I'm adding some pearl white jewels from Pretty Pink Posh. They have a beautiful iridescent finish and almost look purple. They don't have adhesive on the back, so first I'll add a small drop of Barely Art glue, and I'm picking them up using the wax tip end of Scrapbook.com's Craft Pro Pick tool. I'll put 3 on the right side of the vase and 2 in the lower left-hand corner. So there is my finished card. I love how this turned out. The new vase shaker die set is so fun, along with the beautiful spring flowers and fun sentiments. If you are interested in any of the new products from Pretty Pink Posh or products I used on this card, I do have links in the description box below. I will be sharing another video very soon featuring more cards using the new release. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.